Hi, I've got a great quiz to really give your brain a workout. And like all workouts, we'll start gently with some easy-ish questions, then we'll up the pace with some medium-level questions, and finally we'll give your brain the ultimate workout with My Tough 10. If you'd like to judge how well you did on this quiz, then here's the scores, and I'll put that up again at the end of the quiz. So if you're ready, let's play this quiz. In which state of matter is the sun? Plasma, gas, or liquid? The answer is plasma. Found in tropical coastal waters of Australia, what is known as a sea wasp? A bull shark, blue-ringed octopus, or box jellyfish? The answer is box jellyfish. What type of place is described as off-Broadway? A church, hospital, or theatre? That is a theatre. What is a powerful, narrow, fast-moving current that flows directly away from the shore called? Tsunami, rip current, or tidal wave? That is a rip current. Humane treatment is a fundamental pillar of which 1949 conventions? Rome, Geneva, or Paris? That is the Geneva Conventions. How many native, non-marine mammals does Antarctica have? 500 to 2,500, 100 to 200, or 0? The answer? 0. Managua is the capital city of which country? Nicaragua, Paraguay, or Angola? That's the capital of Nicaragua. Which word means to get rid of something completely? Eradicate, emancipate, or explicate? That is eradicate. What word represents the last letter in the NATO phonetic alphabet? 0, zebra, or Zulu? It is Zulu. What currency is used in Saudi Arabia? The dollar, corona, or real? The answer, the real. How many astronauts were aboard NASA's Artemis II test flight around the moon? 3, 4, or 5? The answer is 4. What is the major religion in India practiced by approximately 80% of the population? Buddhism, Islam, or Hinduism? That is Hinduism. Roughly, what is the average circumference of the Earth in kilometres? 100,000, 60,000, or 40,000? The answer is 40,000. The famous quote from Forrest Gump, "Life was like a box of" what? Tools, chocolates, or tissues? The answer, chocolates. What is casein in milk? A sugar, protein, or fat? The answer, a protein. Which animal is often said to be never further away than 6 feet from a human? A bat, a rat, or a cat? It's probably not true, but the answer is rat. Which movie character said, "Chewie, we're home"? Han Solo, Ellen Ripley, or Marty McFly? That was Han Solo. A hygroscopic substance absorbs what? Water, air, or heat? The answer is water. What is the opposite to dry wine? Is it sweet, wet, or full? It is sweet. The Bayeux Tapestry tells the story of events surrounding the conquest of where? Rome, Spain, or England? The answer is England. Which has a parietal eye, A, B, or C? That's A bearded dragon. Which has the most bedrooms? That's A, Buckingham Palace. Which drink originated in Germany as a Coca-Cola alternative in 1940? The correct option there is C, Fanta. Which of these fish is migratory? That's B, the tuna. Which is an M1 Abrams? That's B, the tank. Where is the myocardium located? That's A. Which is boiled in water for 30 to 60 seconds per side before baking? That is the bagel. Which is a metronome? That's A. Who is known for developing the germ theory of disease? That's A, Louis Pasteur. And which is the cobra pose in yoga? That's B. I hope that was a good warm-up for your brain cells. Now let's move on to the medium level questions. What can you find on the flag of Argentina? A fish, a dragon, or a sun? The answer, a sun. What is the chemical symbol for platinum? PL, PM, or PT? It is PT. In which year did Canada become a fully autonomous, legally independent entity? 1965, 1931, or 1867? The answer, 1931. How big were the first floppy disks? 8-inch, 6-inch, or 3.5-inch? They were a whopping 8 inches. The deep red colours of the Grand Canyon are primarily caused by what? Manganese, copper, or iron oxide? The answer, iron oxide. Cirque du Soleil originated in which country? Belgium, France, or Canada? The answer is Canada. Candidiasis is caused by an overgrowth of a type of what? A fungus, virus, or bacterium? The correct option is fungus. Which is the northernmost? Peru, Ecuador, or Venezuela? Of those, the northernmost is Venezuela. On which continent did lemons originate? Asia, South America, or Africa? The answer is Asia. Reticulated and massae are both types of which animal? Giraffe, lion or zebra? They're both types of giraffe. What is claimed to be hidden under the Mona Lisa painting? Helicopter plans, a secret code, or a different woman? And it's claimed there's a painting of a different woman. Made in Sicily, what is marsala? Cream cheese, pasta, or fortified wine? It is a fortified wine. A librettist writes the text for which of these? Operas, movies, or laws? The answer is operas. A cob most commonly refers to a sturdy, stocky type of which animal? Goat, horse, or pig? The correct one there is horse. Georgia O'Keeffe is best known as what? A singer, painter, or dancer? The correct answer is painter. What term refers to the measure of complexity in a wine? Acidity, body, or sweetness? That is body. Shimmy and Charleston are both types of what? Car, hat, or dance? They're both types of dance. Who were chia seeds a staple food and vital energy source for? Romans, ancient Egyptians, or Aztecs? The answer, the Aztecs. Which is not an officially recognised essential vitamin? N, K, or D? The one that's not is N. Which vegetable is a classic example of a taproot? Broccoli, spinach, or carrot? The answer is carrot. Okay, now it's time to really push your knowledge to its limits. Here's my tough 10. The Salmonella bacterium is named after which of these? A chef, a fish, or a vet? It was named after a vet, or veterinary pathologist to be exact, which is not one of the only two double landlocked countries in the world. Uzbekistan, Belarus, or Liechtenstein. And not double landlocked, Belarus. Cultivation, roasting and brewing of coffee as a beverage began in which century? The 17th, 16th or 15th? The answer is the 15th. Almost all of the world's wild bonobos live exclusively in which country? Senegal, the Democratic Republic of Congo, or Ghana? The answer, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Jicama is commonly known as the Mexican what? Turnip, cabbage, or potato? It is the Mexican turnip. What is the world's largest freshwater wetland? The Okavango Delta, Everglades, or Pantanal? It is the Pantanal. Whose birth name was Holly Shlashla? Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Ali, or Mahatma Gandhi? And I apologise if I've murdered the pronunciation of that, but I've been trying for about 10 minutes and I still can't say it properly. The correct answer there, though, is Nelson Mandela. The Angel of Independence, most commonly known as El Angel, is found in which city? Buenos Aires, Madrid, or Mexico City? The answer is Mexico City. What disease was historically known as jail fever, or jail fever, British spelling? Tuberculosis, epidemic typhus or cholera? The answer, epidemic typhus. Something that is ligneous resembles what? Wood, metal or glass? The correct answer is wood. Okay, so was it a worthy challenge? I do hope so. If you'd like to play some more quiz questions and also get a couple of interesting articles straight to your email inbox every week, then sign up for my weekly newsletter. All you need to do is use your phone to scan the QR code on the screen there and it'll take you straight to it. It's completely free and I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks for playing this quiz and I hope to see you on another quiz.